There's a select few people out there. Sometimes you feel like you are all alone. And as I get into this video, you'll understand how you could sometimes feel like you're all alone. And it's fucking hard. It's hard when you feel like you're that lonely person that believes in being a badass through training. I'm here at the Underground Strength Gym in Edison, and as I look around, I say to myself, you know, I'm glad that I didn't get all this pristine, beautiful, perfect stuff. A country club, so to speak. We got some old plates, old weights, plenty of weights. It's just a place to do work. Make no mistake about it. It's a place of getting the fucking job done. And as I say in many of my videos, I curse because I get disappointed when people can do better and are capable of more, but somehow, some way, they find a way to excuse themselves of it. It's like nobody, I don't know. You were not put on this earth to be average, but somewhere along the way, the big man upstairs believed that there's a human food chain, and some people are going to climb that human food chain and be badasses and push themselves every day, and some are going to stay at the bottom, and they will be the prey, while the predators roam and do as they wish through work. They do it through work. I've been very influenced through the recent videos that I've seen John Bros do of Average Bros Gymnasium. He's been on bodybuilding.com. I've shared some of his videos on my Facebook fan page at zacksfanpage.com. I've also shared them with my gym members and the parents because I want to send that message across that he so eloquently states that, it's not so much that it's, what you want to do or this perfect technique. It's what you need to do if you are to truly become a champion. He said that, it's the mindset that separates. It's the X factor that separates the followers from the leaders, or the average people and the has-beens, from those that become champions. And that's when I look at this place and I think about it, and I think about what it takes to be here. It's all in. It's just all in all the time. And that's how you need to operate in the things that you do if you want to succeed. Now, I'm just, like I said earlier, I'm beyond confused with why some people are cool with being average. Average as an athlete, average at the place that you work at, average if you are an entrepreneur and own your own business. You're not willing to fight and claw to succeed. And that's why John Bros talks about squatting every day. He's not talking about maxing out every day. He's truly talking about you're showing up. He spoke on the Barbell Shrug podcast about how it's possible for anybody as long as you have the right mindset. And he spoke about a girl that he began training who was never a high school athlete or a college athlete. She never lifted weights or even exercised before. She was able to squat something like 90 pounds and maybe power clean 60 pounds. And they were asking John Bros, like, how does this training work for somebody who actually has a job, who's very busy? And this girl that he's talking about is an FBI agent. And he said, man, sometimes she shows up and she's half asleep or she's falling asleep in between her sets. He's like, but she shows up. And just the other day, she did a double bodyweight squat. So let's say she weighs 140. She squatted 280, and then she push pressed her body weight. So she probably put up 135, 145 pounds over her head just by showing up and doing the work, showing up, being consistent. Once you've begun, half the work is done, they said. And I want you to think about this. I do these videos because sometimes you need to hear the message, not once, not twice, but maybe 100 times, or you have to hear the message at the right time, because I do say this message so often about showing up, being dedicated, being consistent, and doing the work. But for some people, especially the younger athletes out there, you have that window of opportunity where you must do the work, because you cannot go back and become a champion athlete in high school or college. You just don't have that luxury. You don't have the time machine that was built in Back to the Future. So it has to be done now. It has to be done now. Don't train at a country club. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Be all in all the time. There's just no halfway. There's no halfway. I mean, if you're not going to do it 100%, then, what are you going to get? The Ultimate Warrior said, he goes, I know it's not politically correct to talk about I, especially in like college basketball, but he said a team is only as good as all the I's. He goes, what do you have when you have 99% great and 1% good? You have good. What do you get when you have 99% evil or 99% good and 1% evil? You have evil. And he's right, because the team, this is what I tell football players and football teams and groups of football players that train me. I go, this team is as strong as the weakest guy in here. That's as strong as you are. And they look around and they know who the weakest guy is. It's the guy that's always got excuses. The guy that doesn't, eat breakfast. The guy that always, has an excuse for why he can't eat breakfast, why he can't eat lunch, blames his parents for the bad food, always blaming, pointing fingers. Start looking in the mirror, and that is the person that you can blame all the time. Responsibility always falls on your shoulders. Squat every day. John Bro said, are you telling me you can't squat with the bar? And then he brought up his famous little line that he gave that people went crazy about a couple of years ago. When he said you could squat every day, he said, let me ask you a question. What if you were locked up in a tiny cell, jail cell, prison cell for 30 days? Your family was in the prison cell next to you, and they would not be allowed to live unless you could squat 500 pounds. How many days a week would you be squatting? How many times a day would you squat? So it's not about fighting how much you want to fight or training as hard as you want to. It's fighting and training the way you need to. And that is inspired by Tom Ryan of Ohio State Wrestling. I find inspiration through everything. I find a reason to fucking be strong for any reason. It's all around us. Inspiration is everywhere. You can find inspiration everywhere, or you can fucking find excuses everywhere. I have really learned that the past few weeks, a lot of you know that I was a teacher, spent 11 years as a teacher, and I miss teaching. But I learned that these past few weeks, just looking around at this gym, the music I play, the cursing from I'm fucking passionate. It just happens. The intensity, the pushing of athletes to work beyond their comfort zone. I learned I'm unemployable. I would get fired because people get upset when you fucking make them work hard, which pisses me off. Hard work's a gift. Talk to the guy who's missing a leg or missing both legs about how fucking tired we are and that you can't, it's too hard and your shoulder hurts and your back hurts and everything else hurts. Talk to the guy who's in a wheelchair about how much you're hurting. Hard work is a gift. We're fucking spoiled, myself included, but man, I wish that this shit could just go into the schools. We need the people from the top telling the parents, telling the athletes, all ages, not just in the schools, that hard work is beautiful. And that's all I got to say. I know I jumped around a lot, but that's what this thing's about. I'm trying to get this message out there because I know in a world of YouTube videos with people acting and whatever, I don't even know, not fucking pushing people, but I know that this video, every day a new video comes across one person that I'm inspiring, changing that person's life because it got to him or her at that right time in their life. And that's why I'm going to keep crushing these videos. No acting, no fucking bullshit. I don't even care how many views these videos get anymore. I used to care about that shit. Now I don't care. The numbers aren't important. It's who I'm impacting in a real way. That's the bottom line. Hard work is beautiful. Find a way to be a fucking workhorse.